Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We are at another Tuesday Talk. My name is Jessica Smith Perry, and I'm the Senior Director of Growth with Great Hearts Online. School starts 1 week from tomorrow, Wednesday, August 10th, and our teams, our teachers, new and old, are back at work, ready to welcome your students and all new students that are still interested in joining us for this upcoming school year. We do still have space in some of our grade levels in both Texas and Arizona. So if you haven't already, head on over to greatheartsonline.org and submit your application. This Tuesday, I am so excited to talk with my colleague, Michelle Mendenhall. Michelle is the music teacher for first and second grades in both Arizona and Texas. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, Jessica. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I know you are very busy getting ready to complete all of your planning and to bring your kids back to send your kids back to school, and also welcome your new students this coming school year. So I appreciate you taking the time for us. Great. So Michelle, what has been your journey as a musician to get where you are today, teaching for Great Hearts Online?
Well, my love for music started when I was in the band at the age of 12, started playing the flute. And over the years, once I graduated, began my journey in music education, where I went to school and learned all the instruments. I graduated from Western Illinois University with my music ed degree. And there is where I learned all of the band and orchestra instruments. And I actually double principled in flute and voice. So I also have a love for singing and teaching choral music as well. After graduation, I taught in the public school systems for 5 years, and I taught anywhere K-12, all grades, band, choir, and elementary music. And my most recent Texas assignment before Great Hearts Online was Bernie ISD, where I was their general music education teacher. And then when I had my first son in 2011, he came home, and I ended up starting my private studio teaching flute and voice. And how did I end up here from there? Well, I taught online because of the COVID crisis. And in 2020, my private studio quickly turned into an online studio. And that was quite an interesting experience for someone who's only ever known live teaching. And that 18 months of online ended up really becoming quite an amazing platform to use. And from there, my own children, who I homeschooled, my oldest through the fourth grade, Great Hearts Online became available January 2021. And it was amazing. I watched my kiddos be a part of it. I stepped back, and wow, not only were my kiddos a part of it, my teacher heart just exploded with, oh, I really would love to be a part of this amazing program. And that's how I became a teacher for Great Hearts Online.
Oh, beautiful. We have a lot of homeschool families that come to us and wonder, right? Either they, perhaps some of the math and science is getting a little bit too rigorous, right? For the parents to continue teaching at home, especially when you get into those upper algebra classes. And then other families are just wanting to have that homeschool experience without diving into selecting all of their curriculum and really going at it alone, right? But they do want that homeschool feel and to have their children close. And so what a testament for you to have been a previous homeschool parent and then sent your kids to Great Hearts Online and realized, hey, I want to be here too. That's beautiful. And how was that transition for you? Because that's no small feat, right? I mean, teachers all over the world for the most part, had the experience of having to teach all of a sudden remotely when they were trained and experienced in being in brick and mortar. And I can imagine that teaching music is just a step further or a few steps further in that level of challenge. So what has that transition been for you from teaching on a big campus in person to your private lessons and now teaching a class remotely?
Well, of course, any change and innovation is going to take an adjustment. I found over time, over a few weeks, actually, there are so many advantages to teaching online. There's so many resources that we can use that possibly aren't available in a brick and mortar classroom, such as the instruments in our house. We all have them sitting about. We can discuss that maybe in a moment. But it's just been a huge advantage to be able to teach online. Parents, they can hear what's going on, communication. There's so many things that makes teaching online favorable in many ways.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, well, I heard you say that we all have instruments everywhere, and I'm looking around my office and I don't see one. Um, so and I know you're going to share a bit about that with us, but the big question is, how do you teach music online?
Okay, well, we know the standard instruments, the piano. Many of us have a piano or keyboard, but if you don't, that's okay. There's also virtual options, which my scholars will learn this year how to access as well. And of course, you have the band instruments. We'll talk about those because part of our music history will be learning the different band instruments. However, if we're learning a specific rhythm, maybe I can give you a tiny little glimpse of what my classroom would look like. Okay, so for first grade or second, we have this basic rhythm. And there's so many different ways we can practice this rhythm that doesn't just involve speaking. So if this rhythm is ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, we can play it in different ways. Our hands are an instrument. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta. You can buy inexpensive instruments on Amazon, same rhythm. Or if I invite my scholars to find a shaker, I have salt shakers. And it's quieter so that if you have a brother or sister in the other room, many different options and volumes are available. Or if you really want to get very creative, you can take a cup, you can take rubber bands, you can add beans, I have another instrument. So what's really great is scholars can take ownership of what their instrument would look like. And last year, it was so fun to watch each scholar come up with their own ideas of how to create rhythm sticks. Again, another Amazon inexpensive purchase, or I can use my dry erase markers, same thing. So it's really amazing how creative my scholars get when they take ownership of what instrument they choose for the day. And those are just non-pitched instruments. We have other kinds that make sounds as well, of course. But yeah, it's been a blast.
I love it. And I love that you put the ownership of finding instruments into your scholars' hands, and how fun for them, right? First and second graders to be able to run all over the house and figure out the things that they have, right? Families don't need to spend money on this. They have all the tools and all the instruments accessible to them by using their creativity.
Yes.
And using their minds and thinking about different levels of noise and different sounds that come from them. Great. So how does this actually work though? Like, how do you teach? You've got several students at once on a Zoom. How does this go?
Well, we're all muted except for the teacher. But for example, if I have a class where, I don't know, I will select, today I want to use my mom's spatulas. I got permission. Mrs. Mendenhall, just because of the nice sound quality, I'm probably going to use, again, for that rhythm, the ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti. I would say, okay, who feels comfortable? And what another thing about online is that I'm going to show slides. So they're going to see a beautifully constructed visual of these rhythms as well. And yes, we can use these whiteboards, by the way, do come in your Scholar Success Kit. So they will have tangible resources to touch, but they also will see beautiful, clearly designed notation and aids as well online. So if they're looking at that rhythm, I would say, okay, scholar would raise his or her hand. Susie's going to get her spatula. Johnny might have his egg shakers that mom got him for Christmas. Woo! Actually, that one fell. I'll try this one. Those type of things. So and that's just a small little example of how we would explore different rhythms.
Great. And I know that we had Stars and Stripes. Is that as a song that students use their instruments along to? Would you like to share just a brief snippet of that?
Yes, absolutely. So we have, other than rhythm, which is our music theory, that's one component of music education, we'll also learn music history. And with music history, we'll be learning about features composers. And John Philip Sousa comes to mind because he's an American composer. He lived from 1854 to 1932. And he was known for being a marching conductor for the marching bands, and especially for the military. And this piccolo was an instrument that he featured in the Stars and Stripes Forever March. So I might give a little demonstration of my flute or piccolo in class. And then the scholars, of course, they want to perform as well. So we can use body percussion. And we're going to show a quick little video of how we can do this. And there were stars. So the stars would be clap, 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 clap. When you saw that line, the stripe of the flag was a hold. So it's really cool because you'll have to visualize your scholar. All of these scholars in a class, everybody's on mute. They can hear and see that screen you just saw, and you can see all of the little scholars conducting their own orchestra. It is, or in this case, marching band. And it is so cool because the kiddos are moving, they're experiencing it, and then they're hearing and identifying that piccolo that we studied the prior week to that lesson. So it all connects, and it's just so much fun. That particular lesson last year for second grade, the scholars at the end of the year were, can we please do that song again? It was one of their favorites, and I have very fond memories of that experience.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So they have time during class to talk and ask questions and engage with you and with their peers. And then when they are using their own instruments, they can see you, they can hear you, they can hear and see the video that shows them how to follow the beat. But they're not hearing their other classmates, they're just hearing themselves. So they're not getting lost, right?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So that's a really wonderful peek into what your music class looks like. Presumably there are many families that like to get their kids started early learning a musical instrument. So do you have students that come to class saying, Ms. Mendenhall, I play the piano. Ms. Mendenhall, I play the guitar. And what about those students that come with their own instruments that they want to play?
I'm so glad you asked that. I get those questions all the time, and it's so much fun because we have two things that we can do. First of all, at the end of class, I have what I call Scholar Spotlight, where I can spotlight the scholar much like you and I are. And it gives the scholar the opportunity to perform. Perhaps they have a private teacher at home. Last year I had a lot of piano, and I had a violinist, and there was a cellist in the older grades, which we can talk about recitals for those two that we did last year. But I absolutely love when scholars come to me and ask, can I play my instrument? And it's beautiful because then we're also learning the concert etiquette. How do we behave during a recital or a concert experience? So not only does that scholar get an opportunity to perform, which is a very important element of music education, but it also teaches the classroom, how do we respond to a performer? And of course, that's going to carry over into a live setting if you go to a live concert. So that's one idea. But also, last year, we had our first annual Great Hearts Online recital. And that was, I think we had just under 20 scholars from K-8. And the other teachers will probably be working together as well as we had our other teacher last year. And what we did is those scholars each prepared a song. We had meetings every week. And at the very end, we had a big performance of all these scholars, and grandparents and family from all over the world were able to connect together and watch their child perform. It was a beautiful experience that you can't have unless you're online. We're able to connect so many people, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I look forward to attending this year's recital or recitals if there are more than one, perhaps. Beautiful. Yes. Yeah. Okay. This is such a great program. And I've talked with many families who their kids love music. That is one of the classes that they most look forward to is music class. So with, thank you for bringing your skills and your talent and your energy and your love of music and love of our scholars into this format. So again, you are going to be teaching first and second grade. Could you let us know just a little bit? I know you're not fully apprised of the whole lesson plan for all grades, but if you could just give us a sneak peek into what music might look like for kindergarten and also grades 3rd through 8th.
Great. Yes. So kindergarten will be a lot like what you just saw me demonstrate. You'll be learning, they'll be learning rhythms. And we didn't talk about the singing. We all know that singing is a big part of music. They'll be learning proper singing and breathing, and also dabbling in the instruments as well. Now, with the older grades, the older you get, I do believe those kiddos are going to be working hands-on with recorders. And I am super excited about that. So I want to say definitely the upper grades should have these in their Scholar Success Kits this year. So that is what the older grades will be looking forward to this year for Great Hearts Online.
Okay, wonderful. Excellent. I do have a last question for you, but before that, is there anything about music class, about the program with Great Hearts Online that I haven't asked you about that you feel like, hey, you families that are considering coming to Great Hearts Online, you need to know this?
What you need to know about Great Hearts Online is it truly is a very unique experience. It's one that I hold near and dear to my heart. I can see into the classroom. I can see every individual scholar and the reaction. And when that little light bulb goes off, it is just such a magical moment. And the smiles and the energy, they're like my morning cup of coffee. Teachers, we're tired, right? We love it. We put our whole selves into our craft. But those little scholars, every morning in my weight room, I see all their names pop up. It's magical. It's truly magical working with them every day. And I'm just truly blessed to have that opportunity to work with your scholars.
That just warms my heart too. And I feel that. Okay, well, my last question was going to be, what is your favorite thing about teaching for Great Hearts Online? You might have just answered that question. Unless you have another favorite thing you want to share.
Okay. I want to say my favorite part of teaching Great Heart Online last year is at the end of the year, I asked the scholars what they learned. And that was our final closeout assignment for that last year. And the beautiful responses I received from each one. It just, some scholars would say, Mrs. Mendenhall, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I never knew I liked music. I never would have tried music. But now my mom wants to put me in piano lessons because I discovered I like music. And then I had some scholars send me videos saying goodbye with their little compositions, using the skills we've learned and the tools to build their songs. Just to see that, I still get goosebumps thinking about that. It's just, I don't know how, other than experiencing it for myself, I don't know exactly how to describe that, but it truly is a beautiful thing.
Yes. Well, what I hear is that your students are learning, right?
Yes.
They came to you at some point during the last school year, many of them for the whole school year, others come in mid-year, and they learned music. They learned music through you, and they enjoyed what they learned. They enjoyed the process, and they're sharing that with you, which is phenomenal. So again, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to talk with me, to talk with a variety of families that are considering where to send their kids this year, considering Great Hearts Online and that decision-making process.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So our first day of school is next Wednesday, August 10th. So 1 week from tomorrow. We do still have space available in both Texas and Arizona in certain grade levels. And we welcome your application, greatheartsonline.org. Ms. Mendenhall did mention the Scholar Success Kits. Getting that whiteboard comes with the Scholar Success Kit along with a lot of other really fantastic supplies. And as soon as you are registered to attend Great Hearts Online, one of those kits will be shipped out to you, so you'll be ready. Thank you for watching. Take care.